She says, hi, BB and 18 Will. Good afternoon, John Huntley. So, guys, we really don't have a whole lot. Hey, what's up, Flying Patty? Good to see you, bud. Don't really have a whole lot to talk about. We just wanted to keep our Sunday live going. We got Super Bowl tonight. That's one of the reasons why we went with a 2 live today. And Mr. Trump is going to, I say Mr., but President Trump's going to have a interview here in about an hour. Me and Debo got a lot of things to do. And if anybody caught my video that I did earlier in the week, I bought a truck. And that process and journey is going to start tomorrow. Really looking forward to it, but at the same time, it's a big jump. I'm not scared by any means, but it is a big jump, and there's a lot of hoops that I had to go through to make all this happen. And anyway, all the thanks and the hoops that I had to go through on the video. If you haven't checked it out, go take a look at it. And while I'm on top of that, thanks for all the good comments. I didn't, believe it or not, I didn't have one negative comment on that video or anything with my process. And guys, I really appreciate it. And again, not only am I doing this for myself and my family and everything, every move that I've ever made, it's for you guys too, to learn from, our possible mistakes that we made. But quite frankly, mistakes are more of lessons to learn and things that you need to do along the way to get yourself to a better atmosphere or a better working environment, whichever way you want to look at it. What's up, country? Jonah Green, KO, what's going on, guys? I'm glad you guys are here. We got 13 in here. That's it. What about you, D? What's going on with you, bud?
I'm good. Finally getting over this thing here. It's been taking me forever. It's been taking a little bit too long for this tag thing to blow me. But little coughs, little boogers, here and there. But other than that, I'm doing fine. I got a load I got to pick up to later in the night, but I'm probably just gonna end up just grabbing it early in the morning and heading out.
Your internet's really slow. I can see you look like internet from the 90s or something. You're slow motion and stuff. Like dial-up internet.
Dude, your internet is coming in all choppy, man. So I don't even know whose side is really coming from, whether it's my side or your side, because it's all choppy all over.
You know what? That's actually a good thing here. Hang on just 1 second. Now that you made that comment, let me make sure I'm hooked up to my home internet. Yeah, I'm hooked up to the home internet. I thought for a second I might be hooked to the truck internet, but I'm hooked up in the home internet. I should be good. Is mine slow? Or is it his?
Well, I see you guys like 30 seconds later, so
Okay. John Huntley saying, what's up, country, KO? Bacon, bourbon, blue collar, here with the wife watching, enjoying the recliners. Yeah, he sent me, was it back roads and rainbows? Okay. He sent me a picture of all of his whole family watching the live today in their living room. That was kind of cool. Natalie M, hello, how are you? You're a new one on here. Thanks for coming in. Anybody got any questions about anything that's going on? I've made a lot of moves this week. I'm sure somebody has a question or two about it. I had one guy make a comment. I wish that I could remember who said it. But like I said, I had all good comments. And he made a comment that it was kind of an interesting move, the way I did it. And I'm trying to remember exactly what he did say. Anyway, say what you're going to say, D. I'm taking up all this airtime. Yeah, he says, right way the truck says on your side, 18. I'm coming in through fine. Yeah, I'm on some pretty high speed internet. Yeah, I'm on some pretty high speed internet at the house.
Give me 5 minutes, right? Let me see if I can reset this, and I'm gonna come right back. Okay.
All right, sounds good. All right, Flying Patty, what's going on? How are you today? Glad you made it. Natalie, okay, you're Bacon's wife. I got you. Now, you guys live right down the road from us. We're gonna all have to get up one day. Glad you're in here. Bacon's wife.
He's cute.
Is that what he says? The angry beaver.
Yeah.
Thanks
to
to KO, he found a company that I can refinance my SFI truck because ain't no way I'm going to return that truck to SFI. Yeah, I'm not saying that it was the best idea, but for my position, it gave me what I needed to bring home. I don't think I'm going to have to struggle as hard as I have in the past with this, but we'll see. And Nicole says, getting your steps in, Flying Patty. Yep, gonna get your steps in. Let me see. Is D? No, D's not popped up yet. R.E. Smith is in the house. Hello, I'm new. 40 years on the road. Good to have you, R.E. We can always use some insight from some guys that, especially 40 years. That's a lot of time. I've got close to 20. Not all OTR, but 20. Boy, my background is really, really bright. I'm out by the pool trying to enjoy the weather. Trying to show off a little bit that it's like 80-something degrees here at the house, and everywhere else it's cold as shit. 82 degrees here at the house, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. Randy. Hey, Randy. R.E. Smith. Have I talked to you on the phone before, Randy, possibly? Is that why you said Randy? I talk to so many people on the phone that call me all the time. I'm always happy to give help and advice or whatever you need to get along through the journey. Guys, and just like I said in my video, I know I'm kind of being repetitive here, but starting out with an SFI truck isn't a bad thing at all to get started. Yeah, I just finished some snow blowing an hour ago. That's always nice, Flying Patty. You made some good comments too, buddy. I appreciate you coming in and making comments on the video. What are you giggling over there about?
He's snow blowing and we're sweating.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sweating. I'm enjoying the warmer weather. Yeah, Joan, I agree with you. I came up there yesterday. 85 degrees on the turnpike in Florida. Just drove it yesterday. It's a good stepping stone to move into trucking. Well, Kale, I got to give you props on that. I kind of followed your footsteps in a roundabout way on that. You know what? And I apologize. I don't think I really gave you any thanks out of this. I gave Country some thanks, but, thank you because, what you did. You're the first one I know that bought a truck and took it to Schneider. I already gave him credit in the video. Already been done. Where are you at? Anybody got any answers or questions or anything you all want to talk about? What about the Super Bowl tonight? Who's everybody got? It's probably going to be the most unwatched Super Bowl ever because the only people that are going for Philadelphia are the people that live in that area, and the only people that are going for Kansas City seems like because of Mahomes is people that live around Kansas City. Nobody really cares about the two teams. Well, we got a Chiefs fan, 3 rigs, and Jonas says go Eagles. I got to be honest with you, I'm kind of mixed on that. I don't really care for the Eagles because they were always competition to my Buccaneers, but now we're in different divisions. It don't really matter. And the Chiefs, we lived in Kansas for a short time, and I got to say, Patrick Mahomes is pretty good under all the circumstances and the griping that they give him. Whether he gets help from the refs or not, he's still a good quarterback. Can you say hi to Colton? He keeps talking to you. Colton. Hi, Colton. I don't see where you talking to me at where. I don't see the comments on here, but hello, Colton. I hope you see everything and hear yourself there. Did you get a new DPF in that new truck, or at least a cleaning? Yes, it was all cleaned up. That was one of the major things that they did when I got the truck. He said that they did clean the filter up. Believe it or not, I think I got a good deal. The only thing that I'm not really big on is the recap tires, which eventually the recaps will be changed out. And I think D had that same issue too. But unfortunately, a lot of those trucking companies, they do that. So let's go over this now that I'm thinking about it. A few things that need to be done was just simple stuff. It needed, like, the armrest needed to be repaired. There was a blemish on something in the back. I think they replaced the shocks too, if I'm not mistaken. So just minor things that needed to be done. I'm going for whoever wins my parlays. I hear you. I guarantee you got some parlays going. I know D started to talk about it too. You know, and honestly, that's something I might need to get back into. I haven't done that in years. Might need to. Go Trump, first sitting president attended. You restarted your computer. I'm just waiting for you to pop back up, bud. KO says facts. KO facts. It's funny. That's our son, Colton. He thinks you're on FaceTime call with us. Oh, I got you. Carolina Panthers are rebuilding, going to draft a lot of defensive pieces in March, Mr. Hunkadory says. Yeah, a lot of people are in the rebuilding status. James, I know you said in the video your truck didn't come with an APU, but does it have a bunk heater? Mine has neither. You know, I don't know that answer. I asked the salesman the other day about a bunk heater, and he said he didn't know, that he was going to get back with me. But my first plan, you know, once the dust settles in the next few months before summer comes, is going ahead and getting an APU put on it anyways. And once the APU's on there, it really won't matter with a bunk heater. Somebody, I don't remember who sent me. Somebody sent me this SmartWay APU system to where it's like $50 a month. I'm going to look into it. D said it wasn't worth it, but I haven't looked into it yet. I know my Swift Volvo it's called Smart Idle. That's what it is. My Volvo at Swift had that. Never even used it, to be honest with you. Didn't even understand it, but that might be something I might look into, because I like the EPU that's on the truck that I have now, the factory EPU. So Flying Patty said, I had recaps too. I put Xenia drives on, made in Thailand, but at $290 delivered to my house. I can't complain. I put them on myself. Somebody else said something about Xenias. Poppy has a Chinese tire that he really likes too. And another friend of the channel and stuff, he loves the Yokohamas. I haven't really looked into that yet, but when the time comes, I'm gonna wear the recaps out, and when they start, you know, decaying or needing replaced, I'll just get them all done at the same time. Are you back, D?
I hope so. Do I sound a whole lot better now?
Nah, you sound fine. It's just a video. We can deal with it. Don't worry about it. It's just your video is kind of.
Oh, okay.
It's not really skipping. It just looks like
there's no bunk heater on that truck. There's no bunk heater on that truck when I checked it out. So
no, okay. Yeah, you. I know you're not gonna know who this is, but you look like Max Headroom. Is what you look like. If anybody remembers that show from years ago,
no,
it was kind of slow.
Sure
Yeah, I figured you didn't. All right. You got any news articles you want to go over?
No, I didn't bring any because, you know, since I was out the last live, I just, like, you know, but you know what we could talk about is
What's that?
I know it's been a hot thing on YouTube lately with the new the FMCSA is looking into banning lease purchases.
Yep. Well, guess what?
We could talk about that. We could talk about the effects of that, and what are the likely chances of that actually happen, or if there's like some form of tweaking that might happen, you know, in regards to the whole situation, you know.
You know what the good news out of that is, though, don't you?
You ain't got to worry about it no more.
Or you don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't think we would have had to worry about it with the SFI trucks for the guys there, but I believe they're targeting companies like what you call it, the gay cowboys, Hirschbach and Swift and Night Transportation. Although it's the same thing that we've always been told, man. It's always the companies that you don't want to lease a truck from the company you work at. You know, it's one of the things that me and you talked about almost 2 years ago when we first met. when we first started this journey with the SFI truck, that was the whole reason why honestly, that's the only reason I changed, to be honest with you, and left Swift. It was because of that situation there. You can't take that truck anywhere. Well, you can, they say, but there's a lot of stipulations and loopholes that you got to go through, and a lot of cash. So if I'm going to have to put $10,000 to $15,000 down on a truck, I'm going to go somewhere else with it. That's kind of what me and you talked about it. I made the move, and it wasn't 3 weeks, maybe a month later, you made the move right after me, and me and you became really, really close after that because you knew, that we were making the right move. We talked about it. And like vice versa, you got out of that truck pretty quickly, a couple months, 3 months, whatever it was. And here I am, almost a year later following you, doing the same damn thing. We learn from each other, bud.
Yeah, that's what it's all about at the end of the day as well, too,
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you want to, let's talk about that.
But my opinion with the old lease, just give me a second, guy. I still got that. I still got a dry cough, so I'm just gonna be doing it every now and a second. And still got some left in there, but my opinion on the leasing thing, I don't necessarily want to see it be banned, but it definitely needs a heavy haul, like on the whole structure, on the whole situation, because again, most lease are set up for only one side of the party to win, and that's usually the carrier that you're leasing the truck from. When it comes down to uh, the loads that you get to pull, whose loads you're pulling, they have direct effect on your revenue. They have direct effect on the equipment itself and how that equipment gets serviced. Um, just a whole host of things, and on top of not being able to tr- uh, move that truck to an area where you may consider might be a little bit more profitable for you, but not necessarily for them. It's too many hands in the cookie, and basically you just got your finger on the cookie, but they got their whole hand in the whole system. They're controlling everything from your payments, your fueling. It's just a total it's just a total mess there. I think it's a huge conflict of interest, but I don't want to see it go away because I did use it as a stepping stone to get where I got to. Lots of people use leasing as a stepping stone to get where they get to. I think a lot of people have this thing in their head that they're gonna take the lease all the way through. For example, you have a balloon payment of $30,000 in the end, and you go through your first year of your lease, and you look in your bank account. You can ask yourself, how much money do you have for the government, and how much money do you have towards that to that balloon payment. And if you ain't got none, high chance by the end of that lease, you're not gonna have anything in there to pay off that balloon payment as well too. I think balloon payments are just a scam. I think they should definitely get far away from that as much as possible, and actually give people a fighting chance to actually owning this equipment. But currently, as it stands right now, leasing should be used more of a tool and not a promise that you might get that truck at the end. That's just my opinion on it.
Well, and another thing too, with that, a lot of guys, me and you were both fortunate. When we got into it, it was probably the shittiest time for freight. We were lucky. We both survived through the hardest times. And this is the comment that one guy said on my video. He said, "James, you're one person of many that are not many that actually did the SFI lease and survived through probably one of the worst trucking markets ever, and you still did it." And a lot of these guys come in, and I was the same way. You were probably the same way. Thought you were going to make $1 million on leasing a truck, and can you make $1 million leasing a truck? Yeah, once the truck's paid off, if you ever get to that point, whether it's 3, 5, 6, whatever, however many years it is. But the problem is after you after you get that truck paid off completely, then you're at the point where guess what? Everything's going to need to be rebuilt on that truck. You're going to be in the 700,000-800,000 mile
Everything
range.
needs to be fixed.
Through. That's right. Yeah,
Right.
that's right. So, will you ever
Right.
get rich doing a lease? I mean, it's very hard to um, it's not hard. I don't want you to think that hard. Anybody can do it, but you just got to know how to manage your time, your money, and your maintenance account, and just understand that it's more of. And I tell my wife this all the time. It's not a weekly paycheck, really. It's a monthly paycheck, and you got to look at it as a monthly revenue. Even in my worst times, I still brought home, even with an SFI truck. I might get a zero paycheck one week, but the next paycheck will make up the difference. And I think the lowest month that I ever had was maybe $7,000 to the house or to the truck or whatever, how you want to look at it. But you got to look at the positive stuff, the positive months. And you got to understand that you can't go home every single weekend or once a week or twice a week. There are people that can do that and still make money, but it depends on what company you're at and what part of the country you live at. With me and you, it's impossible because we live in Florida. Can't go home every weekend, not with an SFI truck. I mean, we're lucky to go home once every, me, for instance, I go home every 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm lucky to do that. And when I do, it's just 3 or 4 days and I'm gone. I mean, the only reason I took a whole week off this 2 weeks ago is because I had all this truck situation that I had to deal with. And we sold our property, and just I had some housekeeping stuff that I had to take care of to make this happen, more or less. All right.
Hmm.
Like I'm talking a
And
lot like it.
and again, again, like I don't want it to be banned, right? I do think that it seriously do needs an overhaul. Are there plenty examples of people who have actually finished leases? Absolutely. Plenty of them at Swift. When I first got there were plenty of them. There was a guy, he was rolling into his fifth lease. And I've always scratched my head trying to figure out, why would somebody continue to lease over and over again instead of paying off an equipment. But then, as I get older, I hear about, people using it as an advantage for tax reasons and whatnot. Seems like a big headache to me, but some people do it that way. Other people get in, they don't know any better. And I do feel like, yes, we're all adults and we're supposed to make nobody's forcing our hands or telling us that we can or can't do X, Y, Z, or B, C. But I think that there should be like a master class or of some sort when these companies are offering these type of lease, to at least have the driver have a real good understanding of what they are getting into, the implications, the liability, the legality, and the financial aspect of it. So at least they'll have a better decisions that they're making. Because when people say, for example, you have a walkaway lease, isn't necessarily a walkaway lease. You might be able to walk away from that truck, but you cannot walk away from the taxes and everything that came with you leasing that truck. Um, I do feel like at this point in time, right now, the amount of people who successfully complete a lease is minuscule compared to the amount of people that actually get in or fail at leasing. And typically, when I say fail, what I mean necessarily by that, just because you didn't finish the lease doesn't actually mean that you actually failed it. It depends on what you did after the fact. Did you go back to being a company driver? Did you just quit trucking in general 100%, or did you use that lease to put yourself in your position towards owning another type of equipment and not necessarily the one that you were leasing at that point?
That brings up a good topic. What you're talking about. Again, I don't know how true this is, but I saw something or read something. Did you know the average? How many people actually complete a lease? It's less than 1%. It's like 0.01%, which is 1/10 of 1% that actually completes a lease from start to beginning and pays that truck
I
off.
feel like
And
that's actually a real big problem.
it is a real big
That that
problem,
that should
especially
ne-
for.
that's a different
And you
right.
know that's kind of screwed up for the big mega carriers. You'd think they would want some people to complete and successfully complete a lease, because honestly, that would just bring more. Because honestly, what I would do in a roundabout way, if I found the right, Swift was probably the only one that I would probably consider doing this. I would lease their truck if it was
It's the
more.
only one that I would actually recommend anyone
Yeah,
doing as well too.
lease that
Based
truck
off all
because
the leases that I've done.
yeah, lease that truck because they're cheap. Pay that thing off after 3 or 4 years, and then when you're done, sell the truck and start it all over again. That's for those people that have those loopholes with their taxes and stuff. My wife tried to make me laugh, but that percentage is really, 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 really low. Let me read some of these comments here. Fidel Trucking is in here. What's up, fellas? Broncos for life. Let's ride. Broncos actually look pretty good this year. I was surprised. Look really good. What's up, the Bull of the Woods? So my answer to that, KO, is I'm picking the truck up. It looks like it's probably going to be Wednesday. Tomorrow, I got to go to the bank and get you've been through this, so I got to get the notarized statement that I need done for my bank, for the money to be deposited out or debited out of my bank account. So I got to get that done. I got a 9:30 bank appointment in the morning. As soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to finish up whatever I got left to do in the blue truck to take it back to SFI. I haven't even started cleaning it out yet. I was going to this morning, but it just got too hot. So I'm going to start doing that tonight, maybe after the Super Bowl, or I'll get up early in the morning and get it done. But I got the bank appointment. Then once the bank appointment's done, once I have everything out of the truck, I'm going to make the truck to Charlotte tomorrow. I got a rental car to pick up tomorrow at noon on Tuesday. Once they get all the Schneider equipment off, the plates and stuff, I'll take all that with me to the new truck, and then take the rental car straight to Tampa, to where the new truck is, drop the rental car off, get the new truck, take the new truck back to my house, load it back up, and hopefully Thursday or Wednesday night, Thursday morning, somewhere in that area, I'm going to head up to Atlanta to get the truck inspected through Schneider so I can start rolling as early as I can. So that's my busy week ahead. It's all going to fall into play, hopefully. Popstart says, hey, you all. The Bull of the Woods. Leasing from a company you work at, and if they dispatch the loads, no bueno. Agree and agree and agree. We were fortunate at Swift. Even through the shittiest times, I think D was in the same book as I was. We had contacts that we could make. Jonah Hill's on here too. He can attest to it. If you got contacts, you can stay moving at Swift. If you don't, it's very hard. Thank you, baby. Everyone come on in and bring the family and kids plenty of food at the cookout for the Super Bowl. So you're inviting us to your place in North Carolina. We'll be there in a few hours. Nicole says, hey, Three Bulls, Pop Tart. Hello, Nicole. Bull of the Woods. I'm behind on comments. Pop Tart says, hello. We'll be on our way to your house. You are correct, Bull. That no bueno. KO says, I don't think it should be banned. Like, we agree. As a driver, you should make the decision to lease. Some people lease for tax purposes. I don't think it should be something for people in long term. Agree. And again, we're all very familiar with what we sign with our leases. We all know the good ones. We all know the bad ones. And it's a decision that you make as a company or as a person, however you want to look at it. And you, like me and D, you just roll with the punches, take them the best you can, and try to make a better situation when you're able. Pop-Tart says, we have a large group today, large gathering for the Super Bowl. She's got steak, shrimp, chicken, and kebabs, veggies, potato skins, and drinks for everyone. Man, that sounds like fun. Damn, where you at, Pop-Tart?
I wish my load was early, man. I'm heading up by your side. I could have got me some later on today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got some ribs and some chicken wings. Pop-Tart says, leasing is not a step to win. I'm not saying that people can't win. I'm just saying this is the set, not the setup for the win. Yeah, it's just it's a stepping stone, just like KO said. We've all used it. Unfortunately, I was one of the ones that wanted to try to complete the SFI lease. But the more and more I started talking to D and other people, and It just made sense. I mean, once you sit down and yes, I've been paying on this truck for a year, but I just considered it a rental. And now I'm getting into the position where it's mine, and we're actually working towards
Just use
something.
it as a learning experience, like I do with every single lease that I've ever been in. Every step that I took to get to where I'm at now, I consider that as a learning step. I took what I learned from how to manage loads, how to manage a truck, how to learn how to fix those small things and all that and whatnot. And I did it on somebody else's unit. So now I'm at a point where okay, I'm taking everything that I learned and I'm trying to apply all of that with this truck that I'm in right now. That's how I see it. Anyways,
You know what's addicting is my wife just brought me some fresh Publix bread with some butter on it. You like their French bread and their Italian bread?
I've never
Talk about.
had their bread. I only go for the chicken wings and their subs.
Are you kidding me? You got to get some Publix bread, man. It's the best. You got to eat it within a day or two because it gets hard. Huh?
It's the everything bagel.
Everything bagel Italian bread. Man, it is so good. So
What kind of
Fidel says,
lease was Fidel in?
I'm not familiar. I know Country talks to him a lot, and I know KL does. I'm not familiar on that. I think he
Let
had an
us know in the
SFO.
comments, man. What kind of lease she was doing? What she was at Prime or something?
Pop Tart says she's in Raleigh, North Carolina. When I'm up that way, I will stop in and say hey. Yeah, North Carolina weather is beautiful now. KL says Megan carriers don't care. They use the lease people to pay off their equipment for them. Smart business moves. Yep, I agree. They we pay their bills basically, and then they know we're going to turn the truck back in. Now, with this next comment,
Pretty much.
I'm going to piss some people off. So let me read the comment, and then I'll tell you. Kevin Rutherford has a course for people who to choose to lease a truck. He advises against it and tells people to buy a truck going the cash for financing and gives good info for the lease operators. So, number one, I never was a Kevin Rutherford fan. I know a lot of guys on here just they speak the gospel to him. To me, Kevin Rutherford it has always been the one to talk negative shit about leases and just about everything that all of us do. Um, I'm not going to mention any names, and I'm not going to get in the middle of it. But a lot of guys that have done leases, they get out of them, and then they start trashing leases. Leases aren't to be trashed. I mean, it's entry level stuff for guys that aren't well. Not I don't want to say smart, but they're not. They don't have the intelligence to get into to what. I mean, I can be the first one to admit I was a dummy when I first got started. But you got to start somewhere, and me and you disagree on this, D. When it comes to leases and stuff like this, everybody always says you got to have $10,000, $15,000 saved up. Well, when you got a lease at Swift or a company like that where you have the backing, jump right in the water and learn. That's the only way you're going to learn. I don't care what anybody says. That's my opinion. The worst thing to do is be a company driver and learn your way through it. I'll disagree with that till the day I die because I'm living proof. You jump in, learn from the mistakes and move on and figure it out along the way because the longer you stay in as a company driver the longer takes to learn. To me, I just don't think it's the way to go. So you have any comments about that? Because I'm just not a Kevin Rutherford fan, but I understand what he's saying, but I'm just not a fan of him.
Uh, like I said, I've been through it. My opinion with leasing is always going to be the same. Use it as a learning experience and use it as a tool because that shoe shine is going to make you think different. Brand new truck, wheels all shine out, crated out, no damage, no nothing on it. It's just nice little, sweet little clean thing. Nobody's ever been in the truck. It will get to your head and it'll have you thinking, oh man, I could pay this off. Oh, it's only 1,400 a week. I could do this. All I gotta do is make sure I run 5,000 miles a week, and I get it. It's easy. I could run 5,000 miles a week. I could get it done, no problem whatsoever. I'm gonna be the only person that ever drove this truck. My ass is the only one that's ever been in it. It's gonna be the best thing ever. And slowly but surely, you're gonna start thinking to yourself, "God damn, $6,000 a month is a lot." when there's people out here paying not even a quarter of that every month. I could save XYZ if only I could get these payments managed. But this truck is so nice, it's so shiny, it's so new. It's only $1,400 a week. What else? All I got to do is stay in here. I don't have to go home. I don't have to see my kids. I don't have to see my family, and I can just work my tail off for the next 3 years, and hopefully I'll have that $60,000 already saved up, and I can go ahead and buy this thing off, and I have the shiniest, coolest truck on the block, and it's gonna be in my name, and I mean worrying about the taxes and nothing else like that. But then surely, slowly and surely, you'll be like, you know what? It might be a nice little piece of equipment here, but am I making money? Yes. Am I saving money? That's the real question. Can you save money? Is it even worth the time? What are your alternatives? As I said, using a lease purchase as a tool can be very beneficial for you. I think I think with me it just comes down to, the length of the lease and what it all entails. Like, after a year, if I don't have money in the bank, maybe it's not the move that I should be making. Maybe I should be finding another source of income, or is another way of doing this thing. Because if I'm working all week, 365 days, and you tell me that I made $130,000 and I don't even see 10 grand in my pocket, there's a problem there. Where did most of that money go? I got bills to pay, kids to take care of. There's the rent, all that stuff is still due. After all that's done, and the fuel and the insurance and the IFTA taxes and all this stuff, and don't forget the trailer. These Chicago companies are charging you out the wazoo for a trailer rental fee. They're charging $250 a week for insurance, which is ridiculous. You take all these things into consideration at this point, or you're just learning how to manage a truck. You're not actually making money off of it. So now you got to start thinking, what else is it that what else is there that I can do to bring in extra income, or do I need to? Is it time for me to find the next step to get to where I need to get to so I can actually save that money? I think of leasing as a tool, straight cut, right down the middle. Don't let that shiny truck fool you. Don't sit there and make it think that it'll have you think in some weeks, man. Yeah, I could do this. There's other weeks you're like, God, man, I just busted my butt and I only see $1,000, if that. If you're at the Chicago companies, you ain't even getting not even getting $500. You're trying to figure out where that money then went. You know, it's a
Big
tool
comment.
at the end of the day. That's
You
what it
you hinted
is,
on that.
as a tool.
You hinted on that, and I want to make a comment. And you're 100% right. We all have that, the shiny truck and all that you were talking about, and understand that. And the one thing that I want to make a comment about is, could we have finished our SFI leases and still been very profitable, still taking some money home? Absolutely. That wasn't the reason why I did it. What Dee said just absolutely made 100% sense. I could have kept that lease and kept rolling with it, but the problem was there's nothing in savings other than what I had in the maintenance account and little small savings that I had with SFI. There's absolutely nothing in my personal savings. I could have easily paid that truck off and continued to keep doing what I was doing. And same thing with D. And he's one of the ones that made me understand, but you got nothing that you're saving for. There's, all this extra money that you're going to be not paying on this truck payment, put it into a savings account, personal savings account. Even though you have a maintenance account as a personal savings account, it's the same thing, but it gives you an opportunity to put some money away at the same time. So, yeah, you're right on that. You're right.
Mhm.
Pop Tart says, yes, it's a beautiful day. Wilmington, North Carolina, my home, but I live in Pasco County, Florida, near the Gulf. Please send some North Carolina barbecue. I missed the North Carolina barbecue Pop Tart. Mr.
Oh, I
Hunky
love
Dory.
Carolina barbecue sauce, man.
That's the mustard kind of
That
barbecue
golden,
sauce.
orange, yellow sauce. Oh my God, this thing is
Not
so
me, man.
good.
I'm more of Memphis barbecue sauce. Got to be sweet. Let's see here. Pop Tart says, I believe best in all of both the Carolinas, a place called Parker's. It's on Highway 301 in Wilson. It's a spot on barbecue that I've actually have it posted. A platter, $10, good deals. Might have to try that out. Mr. Hunky Dory says, one problem with the lease is that home and business cannot separate as income increases, household expenses rise. You do not get to keep them in check. Pay the truck off first while maintaining till payoff. Yep. Parker's is awesome. He knows where it's at. I ran a company truck like it was my own tracking fuel and estimates, expenses, and looking at the average rate per mile on the lanes I was running as a company driver. And see, that's a good thing, Flying Patty. And I got another guy on here, Bacon, Bourbon, and Blue Collar. I'm trying to show him how to run the Schneider board. We've all been told to look at the mileage rate. What does this load pay per mile? Unfortunately, when you first start over here, in order to get you some money, we got to look at the daily rate. Instead of the mile per day or mile per God damn it, what am I trying to say here? The mile per load. We want to know what the daily rate is, and my goal is always between $900 and $1,000 a day, and that's kind of what you got to do in order to make it with an SFI truck, which puts about $500 to $5,500 as a gross for the week. And that's kind of what I'm teaching him. So what I was getting at more than anything, he just started on Thursday, and I'm trying to teach him how to go away. Trying to teach him that we're trying to get the most amount of money for him, so he'll have a little bit of a paycheck. Next week, then we'll concentrate more on the daily rate thing that we were talking about. I just was looking for loads. Didn't matter what the deadhead was for this week, because I'm just looking for loads that he can get that pay him the highest amount of dollars to get him started. I know you don't know this, D, but when you first start out with Schneider, you got like 4 days before payroll cut off, and it's just important to make as much money as you can. That's another thing too, Patty. You brought that up. That's something that I'm going to be able to do a little bit more of now that I'm going to own my own truck, is kind of watch what the rate per mile is, because I really have never done that before. Just because, like I said, I have to make the most amount of money for the daily rate rather than the mileage rate. I think I've even told you this before, D. I'm going to try and work out a route or a program where I can try to stay in Florida as much as I can with loads. That way I never leave the state. Pop Tart says, best way to get your foot into the game of cash.
You can try.
Just because you buy a piece of equipment that is old iron doesn't mean you can't make some really good money. Yeah, I agree. Old iron is built to run and last. We still have old iron. It's funny that you bring that up, Pop Tart. One of the things that I really would love to have is an old Kenworth T660 or a Freightliner Coronado. Those trucks with the twin stacks on them when they're right. And it would have to be. It can't be a PACCAR motor on the Kenworth. Especially the Detroit 60 and a Coronado. That truck would last forever. I'd love to have one someday. Bacon Bourbon Blue Collar says, hell no on that mustard barbecue sauce. I agree. I have to remember Joe's. Caught up with here we go. Richard McKinnon says daily rate is more important or weekly. Yep, I agree. You got to look at your daily rate, guys. That's to me, rate per mile means absolutely nothing. It's what does it pay me per day. Again, like I try to hit $900 to $1,000 a day, and I personally like the 400 to 500 mile loads that you can do in a day. So to me, that's what's important. They're hard to find. I'm not going to lie, especially on Schneider's board, but you can find them. You can find them. How are those A26 engines? That's a good question for
So
D.
far, I don't have a problem with them. Like, I don't have a problem with it, other than the one stupid check engine light. It got nothing to do with the engine, but it starts, it moves, it hauls ass, and it gets the job done. That's all I can ask from it. Can you hear it right now?
No. Are you actually
It's
running?
been on the whole time.
Well,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been
you
on the
know,
whole time. Matter of fact, I had to come in. I had to jump start the truck because the batteries were freaking dead, and that took me a minute for all my electrical stuff to get back up online because I
did
had
you
to let
buy
the
one of
truck
those
run
jump
for a little
boxes?
bit, get the batteries charged up.
Did you buy one of those jump
No, I just
boxes?
got. I always keep jumper cables. No, I always keep
Get you,
jumper cables in my trucks though.
get you a jump box. My wife bought me one for Christmas. It ain't but that big, and it'll start a truck. Um, it plugs into the USB, keep it charged, and you always got a jump box, dude. I mean, the technology that they come out with
Yeah.
here the last few years, man, you've always got something. I'm sure I'll
Small
use it
thing.
now. It's the size of like a book. I mean, it's not that big at all. It was well worth the money. It was only like I don't even
Just
think it was a hundred
send me the
dollars.
link later. I'll look it up and I'll go ahead
I'll
and
get her to
post
look
it.
it up. So a lot of people don't know, but Caterpillar has a C10 motor. It's smaller, but it can pull a hill loaded, and it's crazy, crazy, amazing fuel saver. I was always a real big fan of the Caterpillars, but unfortunately, they quit making them right about the time period that I really got heavy into trucking. So I never really have any experience with Caterpillar.
You know they still
Knowing,
make those. They still make Caterpillar in Australia on
yeah,
highway trucks.
yeah,
They look like internationals. Weirdest thing.
hmm.
Got a cat
Knowing
engine
your
in them and everything.
is the first thing, and my biggest expense is fuel, which in 2024 was 35 cents per mile. That's pretty good because I'm sitting at. I haven't looked at it for the whole year, but I average between 41 and 45 cents per mile with the trucks that I have. Might be a little high, but that's what my average is. I ran hard though. I ran pretty fast on with those, and that's another thing too that I've slowed down on. I've slowed down on running hard. There's no need in it. I had a jump box for years, great peace of mind, and it helped a few guys too. Yep, I agree, Richard. It's I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but I know it's going to work because we use it on the cars. I It's one thing we don't really have a problem with in Florida for the most part is dead batteries. Our batteries go bad after about 3 years. That's the one thing that we have because of Florida. The sun just beats them
Yeah, we
down,
don't
and
really
even
get
our
that cold
cars.
weather down here either,
Yeah,
too. So
even our cars with our cars. I mean, you got to replace the batteries every 3 or 4 years because they the sun just beats them down. Let's see here. Anybody got any comments? There we go. James G, what's up? Shit show coming in a little later. Flying Patty says he used the nasty card, which gives him the average for 24 of 68 cents off per gallon. Okay, I'll have to look into that one. I'll have to look
that's
into
a
that.
nice. That's a nice. That's a nice one.
That's a nice chunk.
That's a
We
decent
run a
amount
C10.
on the discount too.
We run a C10 and a Kenworth T600, and we run it all week. Top it off the tank once a week locally, and it's running 10 to 12 hours daily. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. Thanks, baby. That's pretty good. I was always a fan of the T60. I just like the way it looks, especially with stacks on the side. It doesn't look right without the stacks. And honestly, I don't think it looks right with an automatic transmission either. It's got to have a 13 or an 18 speed. A26 engine is capable of a lifespan of 1.2 million miles. Not bad for a 13 liter. How's your fuel usage and how does it pull? I'm very curious. I did a lot of research on this A26 before I really made the decision. I couldn't find one negative thing about the A26 other than the coolant. Like a lot of guys would have some problems with coolant, not overheating, but just keeping the radiator full with coolant. And I think you saw the same thing too, didn't you, D?
I seen. I barely seen anything. When it comes to these engines, I think a lot of people associate the A26 with the what's that other motor that International had before then? The one that
Max
was in the
Force.
ProStar.
Max Force.
Yeah, a lot of people assume that. A lot of people assume that it's the same engine. So on the bad side, it's having that stigma come along with it. On the good side, the the fact that people think it's a max force and not a whole brand new different engine makes these trucks a whole lot cheaper than what they should actually be. And they make great for a starter truck for those who wants to get into being an owner operator. You got a 13 liter. It's it's got plenty of power. It ain't too big of an engine, so it's not consuming. It's not like consuming like a shit ton of fuel. You know, depending on the weight itself. But it's a solid engine. I'll give you that much so far. It's a solid engine. As I said, any issues and problems I have nothing to do with the engine itself. It's just the other bullshit. You know, the DEF system. That's what my check engine light is for, and just airlines, stupid little airlines here and there. But other than that, you'll be happy when you get your truck and you start driving it for a little bit. You're gonna be like, okay, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Trust me.
I'm already happy. Now I haven't even sat in the truck yet. I'm already happy. I'm just ready to roll. I'm ready to do it. Um, Pop Tart says now you can get into the Caterpillar 6NZ. It's burning about 60 gallons daily, so it's a major difference when fuel is higher, is your highest cost in trucking. So he said the Max Force. We got a couple people that agreed with on the Max Force. Has International corrected the cooling issues yet? I really don't know that answer. I'm assuming they have. I haven't really read anything other than, like I said, a lot of these articles were quite a few years old too. I just checked the app, and if I fueled in Fultonville, New York today, I would get 83 cents off a gallon. Wow, that's pretty good for New York. I was just in New York earlier this week. Right way to truck D. When you idle for more than 10 hours, does your truck ask for a regen? That's a good question.
It's regen. When it was colder, I noticed that when it was colder, it would regen in between. I don't idle for 10 whole hours though, but I've had it regen a lot more when it was colder than when it's like right now. It's hot outside. It's what? Uh, how hot is it outside?
It's 82 here.
81. It's 81 degrees, and like I said, I jump started the truck since, and it hasn't regen yet. When it was in the cold, it would have regened already by now, but I guess it all depends on the weather. I guess.
Let me ask you a question. Is that your TV behind you there with the countdown on it?
Yes, it's not the countdown; it's the actual time.
Okay. So with that, what TV mount did you get? It was, first of all, is that a 32?
Yeah, it's a 32. It's
Okay.
I just went to Walmart and they had these it's a Heart brand. I forgot what the name of it is, but it's
Okay.
like this shelf. It's supposed to go in like the garage where you hang your tools off of.
Okay.
That's what that thing is.
I'll
And
have to get with
I
you
just
here on
screwed
it.
that some bitch in there,
Does it
and I
shake at
use
all?
my old bracket that I've always have.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't know. I'd be driving. if
But that's,
you're
I
concerned,
mean,
if you're
well,
concerned
what I'm
about it,
saying,
I'll take it down. But no.
okay, you don't have any. Okay, so it's not shaking or anything then. Because I got to tell you, the factory bracket
Mm.
on the one that I have that gets to the back wall, which I know the older ones don't have that, because the actual bracket should be like where the refrigerator is for the older trucks. They changed it 23 or 24, but anyway, mine's
Yeah, I
solid. It
don't have
doesn't
that
bounce
bracket
up
in
and
here.
down or nothing. Yeah, I know. I think they take it off because of the fridge. They don't order the fridge. Now, does yours have the antenna for, or the cable wire? The little
Yes,
spot
yeah, I
cable
got
wire.
cable wire right here.
Okay, because that's for your
Yeah,
antenna. Is what that's for. Okay, because you put your TV on the opposite side,
yeah, I
right?
got one right over there.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it on that side. For some reason, I got the bug of sleeping on the passenger side. I have my head on the passenger side, so that's where I've been sleeping.
Hmm. Well, there's two cup holders on the driver's side up by your head. You know that, right?
Yeah,
It's built
there's
in.
not two on this side. There's two on the other. There's two over there. down there.
That's odd.
But
On
I don't need
mine,
any sody water while I'm sleeping.
I know
I'm good.
that, but
This
there's
is the
a.
driver's side. This is the driver's side.
I understand,
This
but
side
what
is
I'm
the
saying,
driver's side.
I got you, but that's what I'm saying. If you're laying down on the driver's side with your head down, there, that's where your cups and your drinks. But on the other side, on your passenger side, there's a little bit of a lip, so when you're sleeping, your feet can hang off the end of the bed. That's the way
Yeah,
it's designed.
yeah.
Obviously, you do things D's
Yeah,
way,
but I
so
like
that's
sleeping
okay. Yeah, you do things D's way. Let's read these few comments. We're gonna jet out of here in just a few minutes, guys. We're almost at an hour. I saw something, an engine built by Scania in Man for the International 6-cylinder or something like that. Let me
Scania.
find Scania. Yeah,
It's the new S13 that's in the internationals. Those are Scania engines. And then you have the truck. I think the MAN ones. Those are Packard motors actually. Those are MX13s.
yeah. Those
Either
that new
is
S13 is
either
going to be a
MAN
fantastic.
or DAF. Either DAF or MAN is where Kenworth gets those engines for the
Right.
Packard units. But yeah, the new S13 is the new international engine, and they got the components over from Scania over in Europe. They brought it over, changed some parts over, and then they just call it
So Patty says the
uh
Man is the A26.
the S13.
Yeah,
And
man.
you are right, Flying Patty. The MAN is the A26, the one from the A. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the S13 is going to be good. Let me read Pop Tarts. Okay, I'm going out to Cookout. Everybody is waiting around me. I'm just a little break. Congratulations on your truck. Go get the money. Bye, y'all. Have a good one there, Pop Tart. Appreciate you coming in.
See you next time, Pop Tart.
Really on the Super Bowl. Um, it's one of them. I was
Yeah,
in no.
right. We already know Mahomes and the referees are gonna win this one again.
S13 is going to be a beast motor, I believe, in my opinion. So just let me make a little comment here, and then we'll cut it loose unless there's some more comments that come up. So my plan is this week, guys, is I'm going to record. Probably going to start recording on Tuesday. I'm going to show me turning the truck in to SFI. Then Wednesday, I'll do a walk around on the new truck. So I'm going to try and put a video out almost every day this week and kind of go through the steps to kind of give you guys ideas on how this is going to work. If anybody's interested, just watch my videos this week. Bear with me. I'll put them up as quickly as I possibly can. I'm limited on my time throughout this week, and I'll show you guys the whole steps on how to do it all and what's been involved. Now, 99% of the stuff that I've done on the new truck is already done. I've already signed papers. I've already got everything. I just don't physically have the truck or the keys or anything, but that'll be the video that I'll do on Wednesday. What was you going to say, D?
Flying Patty when they were talking about that 83 cents off for fuel in Fultonville, New York. I'm
Yep.
assuming she's talking about the TA that's over there. So, I just went ahead and looked on the app to see how much we're actually paying over here on Landstar. And we're actually paying there's a whole dollar discount off on fuel for Landstar drivers at that Fultonville TA in New York. So what pump price is $4.29. The Landstar discount is $1. And your state IFTA is 39 cents, so you actually end up paying on the raw price $2.90, all the
I
way from
think
$4.29.
I think Flying Patty's a man. I don't think that's a
Pretty
woman.
decent right there. Let me see. I don't know if you
Jeremy?
guys can see that, but there you go.
Yeah, I think Flying
Man,
Patty.
woman, child, doesn't matter.
There you man.
I'm just showing you guys. So
Anybody got any questions here? If not, we're gonna cut this baby by so we can see Daddy T on TV. At least I want to see Daddy T.
yeah, we gotta go watch some football. I gotta go get some ice cream for the kiddo.
Yeah, and I got to
Because
get.
I was out here on her 4th birthday, so we're gonna go get some ice cream before football.
I got to get my
But anyways,
stuff together for my TV or for my truck and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, appreciate you guys coming in early with us for the pre-football live show. Hope to see you guys next week, and we are out of here. Everybody have
Have
a
a good
good day.
one. Talk to everybody later. Bye bye.